He had the world in the palm of his hands. There was nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing, stopping this guy from going to the NFL, living out his dreams, and making millions and millions of dollars. Except for himself. And that's one thing I've also learned as I've gotten older and I've covered these guys and I look at all these stories. Some people are wired differently. A few years ago, there was a 6'3", 200-pound star wide receiver at the high school level that every, and I mean every college in the country wanted. But ultimately, this young man decided to take his talents to the University of Alabama. And normally I'd say for around 99% of other wide receivers that have came to the University of Alabama, that'd be the end of this story. It's relatively simple. They go to Alabama, they have a lustful career, and they either A, go to the NFL and pursue their dreams, or B, they become a head coach somewhere, or they pursue coaching in general. Well, obviously, since we're making this video, you don't gotta be a rocket scientist to put two and two together here. That didn't happen for this guy. To say he went down a dark path might be understating it because he has straight up disappeared and nobody knows where he's at even till this day. If you're some day ones and OGs of the channel, you guys know this. We've covered a lot of different stories on this channel, but I've never seen one quite like this. And what really has me mind boggled about all of this is we're in the modern era of social media. For example, if we cover a guy in the early 1990s or 2000s and we don't know too much about him and he's quote unquote disappeared, it makes a little more sense because it was easier to fall off the grid back then. But now, not so much. And oh yeah, how can I forget to mention, what's even more surreal about all of this is this young man was playing in the national championship as a true freshman. What about that? He had the world in the palm of his hands. There was nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing, stopping this guy from going to the NFL, living out his dreams, and making millions and millions of dollars. Except for himself. In this life, the one thing I've learned as I've slightly matured a little bit and gotten older is our biggest enemy more times than not is ourselves. And it seems like that appeared to be the case here because he just couldn't get out of his own way. And if you know anything about me, there's nothing more on this planet, on this earth, I hate more than seeing a young man who has all the talent in the world, all the resources in the world, and he just throws it away for no good reason. And there's a lot of questions surrounding this guy, but it all circles back to the one main question we're going to try to get to the bottom of in today's video. What really happened to Agiye Hall? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I can't tell you enough how excited I am to get into this video because it's been a minute since we've done a story time and you guys have tended to love these videos in the past and I enjoy making them as well. I'm excited, man. I'm excited, but real quick, if you guys enjoy videos like this, there's a lot of work that goes in behind the scenes. Consider subscribing. We love to have you here. We're just a bunch of guys and girls that like college football. It's as plain and as simple as that. And also, too, another reason I've interrupted our video here for a brief second is because if there's any other players or any other stories you think's really interesting and you want to see in the future, let me know in the comment section. And if your comment gets a lot of likes, more likely we'll make that video. We got a good one for you today, though, so strap in, buckle up, get you a popcorn, get you a snack, get you a favorite meal you like to when you watch a video, because trust me, I do the same thing, and blah, blah, blah. Man, shut the crap up now without further ado. Let's get into it. Good old Agiye Hall. Whew, that's a name I feel like a lot of you haven't heard of in quite a minute here, and it's also a name that's probably scratching the back part of your brain. Because I know a lot of you sitting there going, man, Agiye Hall, where have I heard about this guy before? And more than likely, you heard about him on this channel. This isn't the first time we talked about him because when that whole situation that was going down with Alabama happened, we talked about him then. And trust me, you better believe we're going to get into all that. But whoa, hold on. I'm getting a little too far ahead of myself. We got to throw it all the way back to where things started. Coming out of high school, Mr. Agiye Hall was a heck of a talent. He was regarded as, some websites had him as a 5-star, but 24/7 Sports, which I like to use for most of my videos, they only had him as a 4-star, but still, rare or less, that's great. He was a 4-star overall recruit, the 7th best wide receiver in the country, and in the top 70 national rankings. Not too shabby if you gotta ask me. But come on, man, we know this. Let's make a long story short here. Any 3, 4, 5-star recruit, they're gonna dominate the high school level. And that's exactly what he did, and for that reason, that's why every college in the country wanted him. But like I said in the intro, he winds up deciding to go to Alabama, which is a great choice, outstanding choice, because you could argue and say that in the past 10 years, Alabama has been wide receiver U. And I know my Ohio State fans are gonna have an argument in that, and also LSU fans, but Alabama's definitely in the top 3. He winds up coming to Alabama in the year of 2021. That was his true freshman season. And he wasn't expected to play not just a lot, but at all, but due to some injuries, he found himself playing in the championship game. Because remember, in 2021, that was a year in which Alabama lost not just John Mechie, but also Jamison Williams. So Agiye Hall, he was essentially the next man up. And in the championship game against Georgia, he even caught 2 passes for 52 yards. Not too bad for a true freshman. Not too bad at all. In that game as well, though, just off the top of my head, I remember 1 drop, but he might have had 2. But even with the drops, the fact he played in that game, it looked like he was going to have a promising career heading into the future. And this is also a testimony to how fast life can humble you, because he went from the highest of highs to the lowest of lows just like that. It doesn't get any higher than playing as a true freshman in the national championship game and contributing to the team. Then next thing you know, well, we haven't gotten into it, but you're about to see. Although we've just gotten to his story, really, this is the pinnacle of Agiye Hall's career. After that championship game for Agiye Hall, it was nothing but a downhill slope from there on out. We are now in the time frame of the offseason, so we're heading into the season of 2022. And around early April, there's reports coming out that Agiye Hall has been suspended from the Alabama football team. To give you some context on Alabama football, and more importantly, Nick Saban, how he did things at Bama, that was a huge deal because Saban does not believe in kicking off or suspending players. He even has this legendary speech that was years and years ago where people were criticizing him for not kicking off a player. And Saban responded and said, oh, well, if I kick him off, he's just going to go back in the street. So what good does that do? Nick Saban is all for giving out second, and some even argue and say third chances. And with Agiye Hall, he did just that. And when he officially suspended Agiye Hall from the Alabama football team, Nick Saban stated, that this was the 3rd or 4th time Agiye Hall messed up. And it just got to the point where Saban couldn't deal with it anymore, so he had no other choice. Here's what Saban stated, quote unquote. He is suspended from the team for violation of some team rules, whether they're academic or whatever. A reporter then asked Saban will Agiye Hall have the opportunity to return to the team, and here's what he stated, quote unquote. He's already had that opportunity to return to the team once, so I don't know what his plans are for the future. Going back to what I was already telling you guys, Saban gave this guy multiple chances before he finally was like, all right, enough is enough. He's got to go. So yeah, there's that. And there was some more drama surrounding the situation because Agiye Hall would tweet out something almost like he's trolling people. Then he'd delete it. Then he'd tweet out something else and delete it. And he would like all these crazy tweets as well. And I got to throw this in there because we talked all about it when it happened. He wound up tweeting this out. FS. I'll pop it up on the screen. He deleted the tweet. I couldn't even find it if I wanted to. But the point is, he tweeted this out, and everybody's like, well, what is he trying to say? What does FS mean? And then people were replying to it and say, does that mean F Saban? You know, F Coach Saban? And he was going through and liking all those tweets. So you can do what you want with that information. To me, and I even stated this back then, I just thought Agiye Hall was trolling a little bit. But even at that, why would you do it? It's such a terrible look. I guess the best comparison I can give you is it was almost like when a guy goes through a midlife crisis. It was almost like every move he made after getting kicked off Alabama, it was a wrong move. Terrible decision after terrible decision. I mean, seriously, why are you liking tweets where people are talking about, oh, does that mean F Nick Saban? It's a bad look. I digress though. Continuing along here with our story, he winds up entering the transfer portal because he didn't have a choice. Saban kicked him off, which is, I don't know, I'm trying to think here. Has Saban ever kicked off a player? I'm trying to think in recent memory. I really don't think he has before. He has suspended players here and there, but kicked off, maybe he has done. I'm just drawing a blank. Matt, that's really besides the point, dude. You need to shut the crap up. Sorry, lock in. The point is, it's rare. He enters the portal, has a bunch of colleges going after him, and he winds up going to Texas. And I remember reporting on this news, and Texas fans were all happy, and I tried telling them, yeah, it's not going to be good, and you'll see why. I also remember stating this vividly to Texas fans. If Nick Saban had to kick a guy off, that is not a guy you want on your football team because Saban doesn't believe in kicking players off. But Texas fans, them being as naive as they are, they're like, yeah, shut up. You're just mad we got your player. Ha ha, we'll see. And yeah, we did see. Your boy Agiye Hall wasted no time whatsoever. He got arrested at Texas before the season even started. He got arrested for a petty crime. It was criminal mischief. But still, being in that position, even if it is a small crime, why are you even considering doing it? And that's one thing I've also learned as I've gotten older and I've covered these guys and I look at all these stories. Some people are wired differently. And I'm not saying he should have considered it in general, but the fact he did this 2 weeks before the season started, even more mind-boggling. I mean, seriously, I would love to know what's going through his mind when he makes a decision like that. So now he winds up getting suspended for Texas, doesn't do anything for him whatsoever, and in December of 2022, he announces he's entering the transfer portal for the second time. And yeah, here's where things get a little wishy-washy. That was in 2022, and it's now currently 2024. I'm sure some of you probably wondering, well, Matt, what school did he go to when he entered the portal in 2022? That's the kicker with all of this. He didn't go anywhere. He entered the portal in 2022, but nobody picked him up. And here we are, it's 2024, and there's no update. That's the end-all be-all to the story. At least on paper, at least. You know your boy Matt's going to do some digging and research. And we're going to do this in live time. If you go to his Instagram, he used to have a bunch of pictures up of him at Alabama, then he deleted those, and then him at Texas, deleted those. There's currently 0 pictures. Just has his name in the bio, Agiye Hall, and that's it. So there's not anything at all we can find out on his Instagram to the slice of bits, but let's go to his Twitter. I bet we might find out something. And bingo, we did. He has this currently pinned on his Twitter. This is from 2023, by the way. Never over. He's also reposted this tweet, millionaire in the making, just give me some time. Recently posted some pictures of him working out. As you can see right here, this was about, 4 or 5 months ago? Yeah, 4 months ago. He's reposted this from Roddy Rich. I ain't hiding, ... I'm just focused. Ah, yes, Agiye. Oh, I'm sure you're focused and locked in. I hate to be this guy, but sometimes in life, I gotta tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. You're the opposite from focused and locked in. You had the greatest opportunity in the world at Alabama, considering the fact if you would have stayed and worked hard, you could have been a star wide receiver. You blow that opportunity, then you proceed to go to Texas and blow that opportunity even worse. And I could go through and read all these tweets he's posting himself and reposting, but long story short, you get the gist. It's just motivation stuff and inspirational stuff. I guess he's reposting all this to make himself feel better about the situation. That's the only thing I can concur from all of this. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all, he just looks stupid reposting all this. He's reposting stuff like this. My best football is ahead of me. Buddy, no it's not. And come to think about it, your career ended before it even started. You made your bed, and now you gotta lay in it. You dug this hole yourself. And maybe some of you think I'm the most hateful person out there, but I can't feel sorry for a guy like this. I can't. I'll give you a pass if you mess up once, but when you mess up 4, 5, 6 times like he's done, I can't feel bad for you. I can't. I talked to people at Alabama. They said he messed up at bare minimum 4 times. And I had another person tell me that he never showed up to classes, and Saban was on him hard about that nonstop. All right, I've spent the last, I'd say, 30, 35 minutes looking at all his Twitter likes, his media posts, and there's nothing much to say. He hasn't really said anything. He's just liking a bunch of tweets where people are talking about him and etc. With all the information I've gathered, here's what we know so far. Number 1, he didn't play college football last year, which is a terrible look itself. I don't care if it's JUCO ball, NAIA, whatever level it is. You need to be playing if you're healthy. Because if you go a year without playing, it's just going to be hard to get back up to that game speed. So that right there alone is a huge red flag. He didn't play college ball last year, which then leads me into my next topic or discussion. That also means he didn't go to college last year. And I'm also going to assume this guy probably didn't work a job last year. He didn't work some random 9 to 5. So that means he did nothing. If I had to give you my best educated guess, the only thing he's been up to is he's been practicing football, which doesn't matter, and it doesn't amount to a hill of beans because this guy's character, it's awful. And it goes back to something I've always believed in. The best basketball, the best football players on this planet, they're not actually the best basketball and football players. And I know what you're sitting there saying, Matt, you just contradicted yourself, buddy. What are you talking about? What do you mean by that? And hear me out. Your best basketball players and your best football players out there, most of them, they're really good, but they're also really hard workers. I've always believed this theory. I don't think Michael Jordan is the best basketball player of all time. No way, absolutely not. But here's a kicker with that. He is most definitely the best basketball player of all time that stayed out of trouble, and therefore, that's why he's the GOAT. Or if you think LeBron's the GOAT, whoever you think is the greatest of all time, you can apply the same logic. You mean to tell me there's not at least 25 to 30 guys that have ever walked on this planet that weren't better than Michael Jordan? The problem is they couldn't stay out of trouble. And I'll give you an example with my life. I remember playing AAU with guys that had 30 plus D1 offers, but they couldn't stay out of the streets, and I didn't get it. My point isn't saying all that. There's a lot more to making it to the NBA and NFL than just being a very talented person. You have to check off a lot of other boxes in this life to get to that level. And the reason I don't have any sympathy, not even to the slightest of bits, for Agiye Hall is because when you're a football player, a star football player at that at the University of Alabama, they cater to you mightily. I mean, let's be serious, guys. Do you think, oh, I don't know, let's just use Jamison Williams, for example, because he was a wide receiver that played with Agiye Hall. Do you think Jamison Williams, JMO, was a top-tier student at Alabama? No, heck to the no. But guess what? He did what he needed to do. And all you really need to do at Alabama is just show up to the classes. I'm not here to tell you it's extremely easy, but here's what I am here to tell you. It's not hard. Show up to the classes, stay out of trouble, stay in your dorm, play video games 24/7, show up to practice, and if you're extremely talented like Agiye Hall or Jamison Williams, you're going to the NFL. No ifs, ands, or buts. And Agiye Hall couldn't do that. And to make it even worse, Texas knew he was a troublemaker. They knew it was a gamble taking him, and he messed up that opportunity. And to Agiye Hall, I know you're going to be watching this video, buddy. I'm wishing the best of luck. As far as what's next for this young man's career or life, I don't know what he's going to do, but I can promise you this much. Being a football player is out of the equation at this point. You might as well just stop practicing because you don't even have what it takes mentally to make it to the next level. Or not even the next level, just play college football because you haven't even done that. And you want to know what's crazy? I just thought about this. Every single one of you watching this video, even if you're a girl, you're a better football player than Agiye Hall. And I know what y'all are saying. Come on, man. I suck at football. I'm not athletic. How am I better than Agiye Hall? Well, because you can show up at least. Agiye Hall can't even show up. This isn't just for football. This is for life. Your best ability is availability. And Agiye Hall isn't even available. At least me and you are. I'll end off the video with this. Let's end it off in a good note. I seriously hope this guy turns his life around, and maybe if somehow, some way he does get another opportunity, I hope he makes the most out of it. And I know some people are going to say, oh, Matt, you're hating on this guy. I'm not hating on him. I'm telling you the truth. I'm rooting for everybody to succeed because I think there's enough success to go around in this world for everybody that wants it. And I don't have an out for Agiye Hall. I'm just evaluating the situation, and it's not a very good one. You control your own destiny. It's up to you, my man. If you want to see some more videos like this, let me know in the comment section. And if you got any recommendations, drop them down as well. But yeah, right away.